So I'm going to rant here for a couple of minutes. I want to share with you guys some changes that I've made in my guild. The reasons behind them, what's going on, kind of some frustrations. And ultimately, I think I want to maybe, hopefully, share a little bit of a lesson with you guys. But maybe equally or more importantly, I want to get your feedback on it. So when we started BFA, when the expansion released, my guild found itself in a very interesting position. We had about 25, almost 30 people in the raid come Old Deer. Me and my two officers at the time were very happy about the size of the raid, the potential. You know, we knew that there would be some people that kind of flaked out, and there would be some work that needed to be had with some of the folks, you know, where just numbers weren't where we wanted them to be. But we were happy with the numbers. However, once the expansion continued to roll on, and we were waiting for Desire Lore to open up, we found that 25 to 28 number started to trickle down. We did some Mythic content. We cleared Old Deer on Heroic. Killed a couple of bosses on Mythic. Very happy about that. But the numbers started to trickle down to where at the endish of Old Deer, we were at a pretty solid 19 to 20. We would maybe have to pug one or two people for Mythic content. But overall, still pretty happy. Desire Lore opened up, and I lost both of my officers. One flat out said, look, I'm bored out of my mind. I don't want to log in and grind Azerite all day. I'm not having fun. I don't like the tier system, or the lack of tiers. I don't like the traits. I am not happy. I got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. I want to go out and meet people and have fun, and not grind island expeditions on a game that I'm not happy in. Fully supported it. I get it. I can't force you to stay. He's a friend of mine. Of course, want the best for him. But fact of the matter was, he wasn't interested. Can't hold him. Second one said, look, I have a girlfriend now. I got a lot of work going on. I'll come back at the beginning of the year. Just too much work, lots of projects. Well, beginning of the year, I'm sure you guys can guess what happened. Never came back. Cool. Again, totally support it. I want the guy as a friend of mine to be as happy as he can be. But that number, you guys can see, started to trickle down, right? So we were at 18-ish. And then now, we've cleared Heroic for Desire Lore. We've killed champions, which almost everybody has, right? We've killed champions on Mythic. But now, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 12 Eastern Standard Time, we're recruiting. I have to throw that in there. We're lucky to get 10. 7, 8, maybe. And part of it is this, like, revolving door. I don't know the right term for it. Where a couple of people say, you know, why should I log in? Because nobody else is logging in. So we're not going to raid, or we'll raid 30 minutes later, an hour late. Or we'll have to sit here and get shitty pugs that have attitudes, or don't speak English, or don't have gems and enchants, or pull, you know, DPS below the tanks, stand in fire, pretty worthless, and get Super Titan Forge 425 weapon, you know, trinkets, etc. And we get nothing. And they get frustrated, and so they don't play. They don't log in. So then, come raid night, people see that there are less and less people, you know, and this just continues on. And then we have 7 to 8 people that log in. So what's the fix? And this is something that I've tried to figure out myself, tried to ask myself, is what's the fix, right? Because we could pug people. We could pug 2 people. We could do Desire Lore, a raid that we've cleared every single week. We could do an alt run, which really nobody seems overly enthusiastic about it because, again, we cleared Desire Lore every week on Heroic. We could not raid. which would be unfortunate. But here's the thing is, and I shared this with my guild. We were doing a Mythic Plus tonight. There's a couple of them. I said, look, it's very easy, and I get it, to those that have taken breaks because of burnout, or once 815 or Desire Lore, or, after this project comes out, in the case of one of my officers, I'll come back. It's very easy once you take that break to not come back when it comes to this game, especially for BFA, where the systems in place, they're frustrating, right? There's a lot of frustrating systems in place. We're not going to talk about them. We've already talked about them. Suffice to say, if you've missed the video, if you've missed the rants that I've done on it, I'm not happy with the Azerite system. I think that it's poorly designed. I think that it's very unfair. Not happy with Titan Forging. There's a lot of things that I wish weren't in the game to begin with or right now, but they are. So we have to deal with it. But I want to continue my guild to, 1, recruit, and 2, to do something. So what's the solution that I've come up with? It's not a great solution. It's a solution that I see has some holes come 8.2 with the new raid that's coming out. But what I have decided to do is to encourage my group, my team, my guild, to, 1, clear Desire Lore on Tuesday. That's one of our 2 raid days. We raid 6 hours a week. We can clear pretty much the whole zone. Maybe not Jaina, depending on time and whatnot. We can clear it in one night. And then that Thursday, we are going to break into groups and do Mythic Pluses. We're going to push keys. We're going to push them, 1, to build that relationship between those people. It's a lot easier in a 5-man to talk to people, to joke, to have fun, to figure things out, than it is when there's 20, or in my case, 9 people in the raid. It gets us, 1, a guaranteed piece of gear for every single person, at least 1 high-level item every single week for every single person. And it allows us to continue doing something as a team. So that's the plan. Now, what does this mean long term? I don't know. This is something that I have been considering, and maybe you guys can throw some input here. And it's something that I've been really contemplating all day. Is this? Come 8.2, obviously we got a new raid. So where does that put my raid as far as Mythic Plus? Do we just say, hey, do it on your own, make it happen, get it done? Do we make it a raid requirement? I don't know. The goal with Mythic Pluses as it is right now is to gear up ourselves as best as possible, because there is some really nice gear that you can get in these things for 8.2 to put ourselves not necessarily in a position where we're trying to go for something special, world first. We're not that type of guild, but to put ourselves in a position where we're not as much in a detrimental state. It feels like that's worded weirdly. But to put ourselves in a position where we have some people with some really great gear that can really start to clear stuff. So I'd like for you guys to kind of think about that, right? Like, if you were in my position, or maybe you are in my position, what are your thoughts on this? How would you handle it if you were a raider in my guild? Or maybe you are, for a couple of the guys that actually do watch the stuff that I throw out here. What do you think? I have a lot of thoughts, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. You guys know the deal. If you like it, like it. If you didn't like it, don't hit the thumbs down button. But let me know what you guys think about it. And until next time, I'll see you.